over YouTube.
Don't want that to happen.
All right. We are about a minute and a half out.
Okie dokie.
As we get started with our live broadcast, good morning, YouTube. Everybody wave. Yay.
Good morning, YouTube.
Yeah. Ooh, good forecast for those of us who suffer from seasonal allergies.
It's supposed to rain,
baby.
I guess it was already pouring pretty good in Spokane.
It was. Jet let me know.
It hasn't made it out here yet.
I don't think I gave Lindsie any headphones.
Oh, no, I don't. Where's my headphones, Dad? Should we close the door too? Poppy looks like she's being crazy.
I don't know where the headphone stand is. Where is it? Is there no headphones beside you by chance?
No. No, missing them.
I don't know if we're going to have time for this.
Hurry, Dad. Hurry.
I don't know where the plug is anymore.
Gosh darn it, Dad. I'll figure it out. It's okay. You can get started.
And they're probably plugged in. Okay. Can you hear anything? Put them on. Oh, it's Ryan. Oh, we got theme music. We're okay. Hold on. Can you hear?
I can hear.
Ooh. I did it. Oh, hi, Poppy. She's like staring at us through the window.
She's so cute. Little spawn of Satan.
Giving you the cat stink eye.
All right. I'm going to bring the sliders down and make sure Val can hear and come back real quick.
$24.74. This is financial advisor Ryan Moore of Edward Jones, member.
Could you hear Val?
I could.
All right.
No.
I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Val, are you excited?
I'm sitting on the edge of my seat.
Literally.
I really like the intro music.
Do you? It's tense. Ooh, something's going to happen, but we don't know what it is. Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7, looking at 808 as we get our little morning show started live from Chewelah, Washington. Along with us, of course, myself, Scott Allen. We have my beautiful daughter from Spokane, Washington, Lindsie, and my beautiful sister from Deer Park, Washington, zooming in, Valerie. How's it going, ladies?
So good.
Spectacular, yes.
It's like a little family mini reunion.
It is. I guess.
With the best ones.
Yes. Look out, the Schlafmans are taking over. All right. Even though some of us don't have the same last name, we all share the same blood.
That's right.
And hopefully no viruses. All right. Yes, my poor daughter, though, did get some bad DNA. Sorry, Lindsie.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I know. First thing up, I'm so excited about this local pollen alert. Everybody knows how bad I suffer from seasonal allergies, and today we're going to get a little reprieve. A high of just 59 degrees. It sounds bad, but it does carry a 60% chance of rain, and I like that. So there you go. 47 for an overnight low. Tomorrow, more rain, 70% chance, a 64 and 43. I'm liking this. I'm sorry if you don't want any gray. Thursday, mostly cloudy, 60 and 44, 20% chance of rain. 20% chance of rain under partly cloudy skies for Friday. So this pattern continuing all week as we head toward the weekend right now. Saturday, they're saying mostly cloudy, 72, and no rain, but clouds. So, all right. All right, springtime.
We've been closely watching the weather and whether they're going to open up campgrounds for the weekend. We're thinking, man, if everything happened right, we would be in the motorhome and gone for a few days.
Now, I was kind of confused by that. But so Stevens County, as of yesterday, so I checked yesterday morning. We don't do a morning show. And Stevens County was stuck in phase 1, and Ferry and Pend Oreille were allowed to move on to phase 2. And then later in the day yesterday, we got a variance from the state, and somehow, I don't know exactly what happened. I'm sure Brandon will clue us in because he's hip with all that stuff. That Stevens County was granted phase 2 status as well. It says that high-risk populations should continue to stay home and stay healthy. Recreation, here you go. Outdoor recreation involving 5 or fewer people outside your household. Camping, beaches, etc. Now, at first, I think during phase 1, it was just day use. Is that correct?
That is correct. So, yeah, they've kind of said camping, but Brad actually called we like to go camping at Sherry Creek. So he called whoever yesterday just to ask whether that was one of the ones that would open. And at that time, she said they were having a big meeting to decide what was going to happen. So as of yesterday, we didn't know which ones were opening yet, just that they were going to open some.
All right. And then for travel, it says essential travel and limited non-essential travel for phase 1 and 2 permissible activities. And then as far as businesses and employers, remaining manufacturing to open, additional construction phases, in-home and domestic services like nannies and house cleaning, a retail, in-store purchase allowed with restrictions, and a lot of different businesses are not lightening up on the COVID protections and masks. A real estate to reopen, and that had to be a really tough one for the housing market. Let's see, professional services, office-based businesses, telework remains strongly encouraged. Hair and nail salons and barbers. Have you seen my hair?
It's time, Scott. That's all I got to say.
You know what's been nice about growing out the hair is I get the strangest, most dumbfounded looks. And Val, you remember our foster brother? He hadn't seen me in about 6 months, and he had to do a double take. He didn't even recognize me at first.
Who is that person?
Like, you're my brother. You should have picked right up on that. All right. All right. Pet grooming. Restaurants and taverns, 50% capacity. Table size, no larger than 5. No bar area seating. So we'll see what happens here locally. We've got a couple restaurants that have been sponsoring, and we'll see what they take of their steps. I'm sure they'll ask for some sponsorship announcement updates and stuff. So we'll find out about that. But the cool thing has been all along is being able to get some food that you didn't have to cook yourself.
Yeah, true. Every once in a while, you're just like, I need takeout.
All right. So let's talk to Lindsie Liu from Spokane, Washington. Lindsie, what has COVID life been like in Spokane?
You know, not a whole lot has changed. Traffic's about the same. The mall is empty. That's about it.
So things are the same. The mall's empty. So do you think this is going to be the death of the American mall?
I think so.
The final nail in the mall's coffin?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Me and Sammy go to the mall quite often because we still enjoy walking around and people watching and eating in the food court and that kind of stuff. But it is kind of like this sad, like, Americana thing. And you're like, wow, this whole big building, there's 50 of us. Let's roller skate.
Like half of the stores are closed already.
And I think they should, since, especially like the Sears store. Oh my God, 3 levels of roller skating. You could have skateboards and roller skates, and people could like go off the rails on the top level. Oh there could be so much fun. All the way down those stairways and stuff. Just a giant skate park. What else are you going to do with it?
I would add like paintballing or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I have heard places where that have turned their shopping malls, where somebody bought it and turned it into like the bouncy house villa. So where you can just, go around and try every bouncy house on the planet. I could do that.
Do you remember when we got locked in a mall?
Yes.
That was a good time.
And we wanted to YouTube it live, and nobody had more than 10% on their phone. I'm like, really? We're all locked in a mall. We're locked. What time? We were in Butte, Montana, in the shopping mall, and we went into the video store, we went into the movie theater through the mall, and when we came back out, we didn't see their miniature "Please go this way" sign, so we exited back into the mall, where we quickly found that everything was locked. Including the exit doors, and that we couldn't get back into the theater, and the only guy in the theater had already went home or was doing something.
Deaf? I don't know.
Deaf. We banged on walls. At one point, I actually took a chair and started banging on the door with it. I was about ready to bust a door, and then I used the last 2% of my phone to call 911, and they giggled and said, "Yeah, it's happened before."
Maybe they should have a bigger sign.
Yes. But and then the fact that we couldn't, because I know if we would have went live with Trapped in a Mall, that could have been the thing that actually sat the KCHW YouTube channel on its feet, and where people noticed it. Because if you were sitting there on YouTube and one of the live things came across and it said "people trapped in a mall," wouldn't you click on it?
Totally.
And they
You're going to try to get trapped in a mall. I know it now.
And right before the cops got there, the only guy in the theater did show up to open the door, and without repeating anything, I said, "How did that go for him, Lindsie?"
Not great. I think he's still traumatized.
I unleashed both barrels on that young man.
Poor guy.
Did you call him Nan, Lindsie?
I should have.
Yeah, it was funny though. It was said a lot of things I probably wouldn't have said normally in front of my daughters, and both of them were kind of traumatized afterwards too. But I bet you that kid will never not check the theaters again, or stick his head out the front door of the mall, make sure he didn't trap someone. All right. Let's see what else I got here. $2,000 a month. Who wants it?
Me.
I would take
it. Hey, that kind of talk will make everybody like the Democrats for once.
They would be the most popular political.
Hey, maybe I kind of hate those guys, but they are giving me $2,000 a month. And I'm still working. Wow. I knew they could make as much money as they want, and they've been holding back.
What I don't understand is the logistics on this, though. I mean, does everybody get it? I mean, I know that there'll be some income levels, but does everybody get it, even if they've gone back to work in states like, Washington, when we're starting to open up? And for how long? I mean, is this throughout the pandemic? Well, they're still calling it a pandemic. I don't know. It'd just be interesting to know all the details.
I saw 3 different bills that they're trying to propose that are all fairly similar, and it looks like they're trying to do it for a year, dated back to March.
So you'll actually even get, your first check might be like $6,000.
Yeah.
Due to the economy, I mean, there's so many things in my life. I need a new car. My car's falling apart. I've trashed it going up to the tower so much. I think I'm on my 3rd axle, and now I can go in 4-wheel drive forward, but not backwards. So, I mean, that would spur me to go buy a car. I use solar at my getaway. And I dream of being able to move there, so I would put in my electric. I'm ready to spur the economy. Print me some money.
Look at what the federal government, what it would cost them. But in return, like you said, the economy would be stimulated, and they would get that money back really fast between taxes or whatever it may be. So ultimately, I think they'd make money on the deal.
Right. I read, I don't remember what all the costs were, but it was between like $3 trillion and $10 trillion for each bill. Each bill was a little different, but.
Can I say something stupid?
Yes.
Print more money! It's all invisible anyway.
It's not real.
Exactly. So you just wonder, how long can the government do this and actually stay solvent, or is it just all on paper anyway?
Well, the two of you, and I've mentioned it a few times on the radio, have heard me talk about the Venus Project. It's basically a group that wants to turn the planet into a utopia where money doesn't exist anymore and we all live all willy-nilly. And I bet they're loving this, because one of their things was that it only takes, with today's technology and automation, that if we fully embraced that technology and automation, and I'm not talking about AI and stuff, I'm talking about automation. They said it only takes 3% of the world's population to take care of the rest of us. And this has been a sign. So many people out of work, and almost like in a way they don't want us to go back. And they start handing out this money that some people need and some people don't. I realize there was like $120,000 income level cut off on whether you got a check or not. But it's just crazy stuff. And it does show, though, how a lot of us don't need to work.
As long as we still get paid, everybody be okay with that. Well, not everybody. Some people really need to do something, but yeah.
It does kind of make you, though, when you hear all the conspiracy theories out there and make you step back. And I'm Mr. Anti-conspiracy theory, but I still read them, and they can still make me tilt my head sideways and go, yeah, something ain't right, but let's wait and see what happens before we guess. But I'm going to say that out loud. Something ain't quite right.
It's weird.
Uh-huh.
So I've got I guess it's kind of along the same lines, but Brad and I watched a movie recently, and I can't pull out the name now, but it was about this guy who develops AI technology and one of those supercomputers that becomes self-aware. And he's named it Kronos. And it is all about how Cronus decides that the one thing that the planet does not need is people. And so it goes about trying to wipe out the whole population, right? But the name of this whole thing is Kronos. So I'm talking to a friend yesterday, and he's talking about how they have this program through work where they can all talk to each other and do all these things, and it's called Kronos. And I'm like, can you repeat that, please? And he's like, Kronos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Spooky.
It's just like the Terminator movies. You kind of know in the back of your head when you're watching them is that, you know what, this AI stuff could go sideways. Let's make, obviously your computers are quicker than us, at least me. And that's just kind of scary that one could end up deciding that, wow, they made me and I'm omnipotent. Huh.
And I'm not going to, well, I guess he did destroy, humans, but, at the same point, the Kronos whole idea was that humans are the problem.
Well, they covered that a lot of times in Star Trek too. Remember when it was aliens came to Earth? They were non-corporeal, meaning they didn't have bodies. But when they looked at the Earth, they said, "Oh my God, this planet's infested with rats." Or actually, what they called us was ugly bags of mostly water. And they were gonna, we had to convince them that we could do something right because they just wanted to eradicate us because we had infested the planet and killed everything else. And, that's pretty close to home.
Well, and Matrix, what was the line in Matrix that humans are just parasites upon the earth?
Yeah. Well, and if you look at it, it's kind of like rats in a maze. We are going all willy-nilly, consuming everything and without any kind of balance whatsoever, and people, will freak out and, call me a communist or whatever. But I'm sorry, there needs to be population control until we figure out how to build smart cities. And I mentioned the Venus Project earlier. They have some great ideas for rebuilding our cities in common sense ways where every building that you build grows the food to feed the people in it. And it's all solar, and depending on where you live, solar. There's so much we can use from tidal energy, from the tide coming in and out, to wind power, to solar power, to geothermal. Every place on the planet pretty much has something that they could tap into in a more natural way. And that kind of thinking takes population explosion really out of the way. Imagine if every apartment complex or every home you built was already pre-prepared to grow the food for the people that live in it, all of a sudden this doesn't become a problem anymore. And just like last week we were talking about with Joan Thompson, because the farmers market was opening, is that if like our meat supply crashed, could local farmers keep up and feed us meat? And they said no, because they're not ready for it. But that needs to change, because imagine if we were pod communities, and regional communities and local communities. And let's say our farmers here, they're doing really good. We got lots of produce and meat and stuff. And maybe over on the coast, there's an earthquake and devastation. Well, these little pod communities can supplement that other community. And we're eating local, we're supporting local, and places like Tyson Foods that are just like, full, the way they grow or the way they take care of the cattle, it's gross. I mean, we've seen these, if you've bothered to click on a documentary about what happens at these places for our food. It doesn't matter. Tyson Foods can go out of business and it wouldn't affect any of us. We'd still have meat on our table if you're a meat eater. And I think that's a lot smarter way to go. And I hope that this pandemic changes things and we look at stuff like that way, because our local farmers markets are in a key position to take that over and implement it and help feed our entire communities and get back to a more natural way of life. At least that's what I think. Shut up, Scott.
I like it.
My thought is on all of this is, to see the amount of waste they've had to do, whether it's dumping out milk or killing cattle and hogs and all of that, because they had no way of processing them. And you've got all these people going hungry. And to me, that is horrific. that some people are starving and then we're dumping out all this stuff. There's got to be a better way.
It's kind of horrific that we're in the great country of America and people need food stamps. There's a huge problem.
Scott, it's called EBT right now.
Oh, sorry.
Say it right.
So right now, I guess on the East Coast, because it still says it's live. I tried to tap in and catch some of it this morning, and I wasn't able to. But we might have some pieces of it tomorrow. But Anthony Fauci is talking to Congress this morning, giving a live report along with the CDC. And this is kind of, I think, a good thing because these departments have really been held back by the White House as far as reaching the public with their opinions. And these are a person that's been the nation's top infectious disease expert for years, and an organization called the CDC that's supposed to protect us, and we don't hear much from him anymore. This says what he's doing today is talking to him. It says more than 4.1 million people worldwide have tested positive for the virus, and that's from Johns Hopkins University, and over 286,000 have died so far. In the U.S., 1.3 million confirmed cases, more than 80,000 people dead. I haven't checked the numbers, but Washington State has some of the highest death rates in the country, which was scary. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, is testifying via teleconference before Capitol Hill, along with CDC Director Robert Redfield, FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn, and Admiral Brett Goyer, the Assistant Secretary of Health at the Department of Health and Human Services. So all our organizations today talking to Congress, which might spur some of these bills that are coming up. Kind of, Yeah,
and I started to just watch it for a few minutes before I headed in for the show. And I saw, gosh, I can't remember his name right now. He's a Republican from Tennessee. I think he's the chairman of this committee. And he actually went through teleconferencing on Zoom as well to talk about it. I think he is self-quarantining just to make sure because he was exposed. So, and same with Fauci's doing the same. He's going in through Zoom for that same reason. So I kind of got the chairman's thoughts on this whole process and what he thinks needs to be done. And it's kind of what we heard all along, testing, and then some sort of antibody test, and then a vaccine and contact tracing. So they're all kind of saying the same thing, but I recorded it because I'm really interested in hearing what Fauci's going to say and the head of the CDC, just to get those that input and see what they're saying. Now, I know we've got Patty Murray as representative for our state, and she started talking. She was the second person to talk, and I was really disappointed in her in that one of the first things she did was attack the president and how he's handled this. And I just didn't think that was the time to do that in this situation. That shouldn't be the focus, the finger pointing, who we think did right, who we think did it wrong. I just want to see more of a bipartisan attitude about that. Whether you agree with the way the president handled it, whether you don't, that isn't the issue at this time. The issue at this time is making sure we do better in the future.
I wish our elected officials would quit acting like they're all 10, shut their mouths, grow up, and work together. Or at least shut your mouth. What is the whole thing? If you don't have something nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Okay, we're in a crisis, and let's make it all political instead of what it's really about. And on the other hand, you have some politicians with presidential dreams, some presidents with dictator dreams. I don't know, just making all willy-nilly comments and stirring up stuff and using it as a propaganda tool for themselves. And that's gross.
Did they forget that they're public servants? Really, though?
Maybe we could...
Exactly.
Maybe if we went into Congress and we had like one of those rubber stamp things and we stamped on every one of their foreheads, I'm a public servant, they'd all have to look at each other and see that. And then maybe it would remind them. Good idea, Val. Lindsay.
I think that was Lindsay.
Good idea, Lindsay. A stamp. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I'm a public servant.
Well, I think they need it to be like in reverse, like you see in a mirror. So when they look in the mirror, they see it.
That's presuming they read, Val. I'm sorry.
So anyway, I'm watching this kind of, and I saw a couple things that were interesting, and I would like to know kind of the context about it. But looking at the committee that is actually in the White House, and they're kind of doing close-ups on each one. At least 2 of them were on their phones.
Oh my gosh.
Texting or reading texts. And then one guy finally takes his mask off, I think was Senator Burr, takes his mask off because he had one on originally. First thing he does is touch his nose.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
So they did have him spaced out. I think everybody kind of
Sorry.
Then after that, they were taking him off. So.
Oh, yeah. It says here White House is requiring staffers to wear masks while inside the West Wing after President Trump's valet and Vice President Mike Pence's press secretary tested positive. I wonder what the job of the presidential valet is.
It's to bring him his Diet Coke, is from what I heard.
Really? Your Diet Coke, sir.
And that's being serious. He's supposed to bring him his food, and evidently he brings him a lot of Diet Coke.
That's his favorite soda. Okay, good to know.
Ooh, that's free publicity. You can't pay for that kind of publicity.
Could go either way, good or bad.
They need a commercial of like a bottle of Coke, and they can just put like an orange toupee on it.
Oh.
Didn't they have orange Coke for a little bit? I remember that.
Oh, yes. I think you can still
right.
get it. Well, you used to be able to get it at the theater.
Huh. I get it every time I turn on the TV. Oh. All right. So I think we covered everything. I accidentally closed my Tri-County state, but I'm going to guess there that we stayed throughout the Tri-County area. We stayed at the 10 cases where we've been for the 3 weeks in a row and able to go on to phase 2. Everybody, yay, phase 2. We're not quite sure what that means, but we like the sound of some kind of change.
Yay!
And just remember, because it's all over the internet, nothing will ever return to normal. And that's a good thing. Except for this, like, staying far apart.
Yeah, I know. It's like when you're a hugger and you can't hug people. Oh, my goodness. My sort of granddaughter came out the other day to bring her, and my son came out to give me flowers for Mother's Day. And to not be able to hug her, it was like, oh, this is horrible.
Aww. Aww. All right. Let's see. A tooth offers evidence modern humans reached Europe earlier than previously thought. This is so exciting. A single tooth is changing how archaeologists think about history and human evolution. The tooth, a molar, is one of the last remnants of the earliest modern humans found in Europe. And this is according to a 2-paper thing published on Monday by the international team of archaeologists who found it among human remains, stone and bone tools, and pendants made from cave bear teeth. Ooh. It was in Bulgaria in a labyrinth called Bakokiro Cave. They say it's much older than anything else they've ever found so far from modern humans in Europe. Let's see. The molar is the largest surviving bone fragment from a group of very early Homo sapiens that was dated between 44,000 and 46,000 years ago. They push back the earliest confirmed arrival of Homo sapiens in Europe and show they somehow shared the land for thousands of years with the heavy-built Neanderthals. Huh.
So how did we make the leap? Was it the aliens?
And I still wonder if Neanderthals are where we Sasquatch.
I agree.
I think, and maybe there's a few of them still hiding it in the woods.
Think of all the sea life and the mammals that they think are extinct, and all of a sudden they find them again.
Yeah. And if you were a big, hairy, slightly intelligent man, wouldn't you be pretty good at hiding?
What do they call him? The social distancing champion?
Yeah, they're really good at it. All right. I used to have a friend. You could just tell that the way his skeletal frame was, that he was full of Neanderthal DNA. I mean, he could grab my head, palm my head, and pick me up that way. I mean, he was like Andre the Giant. He was just this huge man. It was amazing, and he was a bouncer. I saw this guy pick up a crowd, or 4 people, all fighting. He picked up all 4 of them fighting, and it was like they were squished up in a bouquet, and they're still slapping and poking each other. But he just walked all 4 people out the front door and dropped them on the ground. You're done. He was amazing.
Someone you want on your side.
Yes. The fines also resolve a debate about distinctive tools and personal ornaments known as Bakokurian after the cave. Let's see. These show new ways of using stone, bone, and antler that became common among Homo sapiens many thousands of years later. So very advanced Europeans living with Neanderthals.
Fascinating to me. All of that's fascinating. The fact that they can trace humans back to a single, what they call mitochondrial Eve. So they can trace us all back to that one specimen, I guess you'd call it. That's fascinating to me, too, that they can do that sort of thing now.
And even like look at your DNA and tell, how much of a mutt you are.
And I'm sure, many people find they have things in them different than they were expecting.
Yes. All right. And that can sometimes cause problems in the family.
Exactly.
New subject, Val. All right. I'm going to move on to a few, let's see, where are we at here? Bits and breaks for today. Fun stuff. Let's see, I got some questions for girls. All right, what kids have learned from life so far is first up. And I have right here 5-year-old Kara. She says, being a grown-up is complicated. I'm going to skip it.
Rude.
Many of us have.
Yes, I try every day. What kids have learned from life so far? 7-year-old William says, when it's hot outside, my shoes stink. 9-year-old Keisha, I learned that popcorn doesn't cook in a toaster. Hey, but that's using your head. You go, Keisha. All right. And 7-year-old Amanda, it's okay to eat with your hands, but only in front of the babysitter.
Or grandma, probably.
Uh-huh. All right. Some of us forgot about hard work. Some of us are even going to forget more about it. Want to be thought of as a hard worker? First, help your colleagues when you don't need to. Next, always meet deadlines. Third, volunteer for things outside your normal work area. A lot of work circles, that's called being a suck-up, right, Val?
Well, what I think is the more you volunteer for stuff outside of your work zone, the more they ask you to volunteer for stuff outside your work zone. So
that's always a bad idea.
You're setting yourself up for, a lot of work.
A lot of pain and trouble in your life. A survey asked what adults saw as signs of hard worker, helping colleagues when you don't need to, always meeting the deadline, volunteering for work, always getting everything done on your to-do list, getting more work than anyone else, getting to work early, staying late, keeping a to-do list, never procrastinating, volunteering for meetings. This is an idiot list.
Or can I say this word sucker on the...
Yeah. Wow, you need a wash rag to wipe all the brown off your nose. And remember, nice guys finish last.
People may think you're a hard worker, but you're just being taken advantage of.
All right. So, Lindsay, you're still in the workforce. What is the most annoying thing a coworker can do?
That's tough.
I know you used to complain about a lot of your coworkers.
A lot of them. Asking dumb questions. No.
So you had to work in a setting that was mostly where you were the only female with a lot of guys, right?
Correct.
What was that like?
Not as bad as you would expect. All the guys were super respectful, except for my boss.
Well, absolute power corrupts absolutely, Lindsay. And we won't say his name on the radio, even though we'd like to. All right. But so now your position has been done away with. So you're one of the people that is benefiting. Am I just sharing too much? Benefiting from the unemployment.
Yeah, no, it's been super helpful. I'm able to pay all my bills. I'm I'm really appreciative. So
All right.
that's good.
And the nice thing, it's a little extra, right? And you got a sick kitty. You were actually able to. What would have happened if you wouldn't have been getting the unemployment in your cat? It'd be a disaster, right?
Yeah,
With
I
your
wouldn't
pet?
be able to help my cat.
Yeah. Her cat. She's got a sick cat.
Gotta get all his teeth pulled out.
All right.
Oh, poor kitty.
Yeah.
You guys want to feel better?
Yes.
All right. What Scott thinks about in the shower. Ready? Everybody's got a frown on their face, even people driving. Don't touch that dial. Yes, you could click on another YouTube video, but don't. No matter what age you are, if you hear music blaring from a car, the music is always bad. Isn't that not true? When you hear loud music coming from a car. I was in the woods, and there was a car
All you
going
can
by.
hear is the thump, thump, thump. When you're, you don't really hear any words or what it is. You just hear the thump.
Yep, it's always bad. There are probably lots of camouflage clothing items lost in the woods. You just don't notice them. Where's my camouflage underwear?
Oh, maybe that's why Bigfoot can get away with stuff. He's just camouflage.
That's right. Maybe seafood is so tasty because it's been marinating its whole life.
Salt
And a little
water.
sea salt brine.
All right. People tell me to make myself at home, but if I did, they'd probably get annoyed. Really want me to take off my pants and sit on your couch in my underwear and pass some gas? Celebrity weight loss or gain must be really annoying for celebrity impersonators.
I like that one.
Cooking show hosts are always so enthusiastic because they know they don't have to clean up. And they do. They trash their kitchen. Yeah. Staff will get this. All right.
I wish that happened in my kitchen.
Me too.
No mom has ever had fresh Chick-fil-A on Mother's Day. Because they're closed on Sundays. All right. Our saliva probably had a taste, but we got so used to it we don't recognize it anymore.
Gross.
It's just like nobody can smell you. You can't smell your own bad breath unless it's really bad.
Yeah. Astronomers literally earn their living by staring into space.
I knew I picked the wrong career path.
Oh, a job for Lindsie.
Oh no.
What do? I stare into space. All right, last one. We've devolved as a society from trying to memorize phone numbers to memorizing Wi-Fi passwords.
Which are much harder than phone numbers.
My neighbors.
How many phone numbers do you actually know off the top of your head?
I had to look up Lindsay's in my phone the other day. And she's my daughter.
I've had the same number for 10 years.
And I still don't know it. I'm so used to cell phones. And in fact, when I pulled it up to call her or whatever, there's somebody, I don't know who was standing beside me, and I went, it was, I pulled up the phone, and I went, she still has a Chihuahua number.
Yeah, the only number I know is yours, Dad.
All right.
So we are completely lost if we lose our phone
Yes.
or if it breaks or something. I mean, we don't even know how to. I mean, I can think about 5 numbers that I know off the top of my head, and that's probably it now.
Yeah.
It'd be the boys, Brad, and Brad's parents, and that's about it.
I could be laying there clutching my chest and say, "You're about to die. Who do you want us to call?" My phone's dead. I don't know.
My phone's as dead as I am.
I bet it's a real problem.
2%
now.
battery life left.
My eyes are blinking in orange. It's about to go out.
Plug her
It
in.
would automatically shut you down because you don't have much of a battery life left.
I'm just going offline now. This is a question for Val because unfortunately Lindsay can't answer it. How did you react? How did he react when you told him you were pregnant?
Oh, thank goodness.
Lindsay's like, or at least don't say anything in front of your dad.
Lindsay, I'm going to ask you, have you ever thought you were pregnant?
I don't have to answer that.
Do not answer that question in front of your father. All right.
Both times we were trying, and so it was, met with excitement or happiness.
All right. I remember the shock because with Sammy, because I was married to someone who was told she couldn't have kids. So it was really, I remember she got really upset because the strange look on my face. And I figured, I was pretty lucky to have one kid, and didn't think I was going to have another, and maybe thought that was a good thing in a way, because I was 10 years older. Because, yeah, you got 10 years on Sammy. And I remember I was kind of in shock, and I just kind of fell into my recliner and stared into space. And I didn't get paid. And then finally she got really mad because I wasn't excited. I got it really excited, but it was shock is what, yeah.
And you kind of thought for a while when you were younger, too, that you'd have the same problem as our brother and not be able to have children.
Yeah, and so they told me...
That was kind of in the back of your mind.
They told me when I was in my first marriage, when I was in my 20s, that there's probably 1 in a million chance that I could get someone pregnant because my dudes didn't swim. But apparently that 1 in a million chance worked out a couple times, and I can't seem to win the lottery.
2 in a million.
Yeah, 2 in a million. I can't seem to win the lottery, but it's coming. All right. Why do my dog's paws smell so good?
Ew.
You have a dog. Do paws smell good, Val?
No, they kind of smell like the rest of the dog smells, just stinky.
Well, there's something about your dog. I mean, I'm sorry. She is the sweetest dog on the planet, but she reeks all the time.
She is so stinky. I will never have another lab ever, ever. She is, we actually, when we get into the summer, she goes in and out of our creek all the time, and you can't even stand to have her within 20 feet of you. Yeah, it's bad.
She's got some BO.
Love her, sweet dog, but nah.
Yeah, and you feel bad. She wants to come up and be against you, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to need a shower. Well, Brad's kind of the same way, though. Oh!
Well, if you didn't snuggle him so close, Scott, you probably would.
I know. I get home and the cat gets excited because I smell like Brad. No,
you know you're too close when you're spooning.
Oh, I broke quarantine again. This guy says, I've always loved falling asleep to the smell of my dog's paws.
Oh, my goodness.
I started telling other dog lovers this recently, only to find that many others feel the same way. The phenomenon is referred to as Frito feet.
Frito.
Bacteria and yeast naturally reside on the skin of all animals, including cats and dogs. The feet of both species contain many folds and pockets, such as the areas between the toes and the spaces between the foot pads. These areas have increased levels of moisture and decreased air circulation at that level of the skin. The increased moisture and decreased circulation in these environments enables resident bacteria and yeast to proliferate exuberantly. These microorganisms, of course, give off a little stench, and I suspect that they are the cause of Frito feet. Because cats groom themselves more thoroughly than dogs, they are less likely to have foot odor.
I'm not smelling my cat's feet, though. They cover stuff up in the litter box.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with smelling those.
Have you ever smelled your cat's belly? That's the best smell ever.
Oh, I will go with kitty tummy. Yes.
Kitty tummy's good.
Smells like fresh rain usually.
It does.
It does. What is it about cat saliva when they clean themselves? If you smell them, they smell like rain. Like there's ozone in their breath.
But you smell their breath, and it's horrific.
It's so bad.
It's like cat box. How does that work? All right. One bacteria in particular is famous for smelling like corn tortillas. I wish my feet had that one. Maybe if I rub footsies with my dog, I could get it. That bacteria is called Pseudomonas. It's often associated with skin or ear infections, and I can't promise that it has anything to do with causing Frito feet, but I'm a bit suspicious. So, yeah, it's actually fungus in your dog's feet that you smell so good. Can I say that these people are nuts?
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. And maybe with my dog, maybe it's just because she's so stinky all over, you couldn't tell if it's her feet or not that stink. But
and if you're over at someone's house and you see them smelling their animal's feet,
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes.
right before they make your dinner, right?
All right, let's talk about dreams, ladies. I want to know, the most common dreams you have, if you have a recurring dream? Either one of you.
I have this dream quite often about being in a house that I know is my house, but discovering rooms I didn't know were there.
Ooh.
It'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this room is here. That is so cool.
I have a new hideout.
Yes. So that's kind of one of my reoccurring dreams.
All right. If you dream about a house, in a dream, a house usually represents you. Rooms represent different aspects of yourself, Val. Doors are opportunities. If it's your home, you are on a solid spiritual foundation. And you said it's your home. Good for you. If you dream that you're in a strange new house, it indicates your future on what you must do. The bedroom has many obvious meanings. Bed is the most common dream object of all. The bathroom, from bathing to using the toilet, are also common situations. I never dreamed about sitting on the commode.
Generally that's considered a sign of insecurity if you dream about sitting on the commode when other people can see you. So it's like out in the middle of a room or something like that. It's a sign of feeling insecure about something.
I've had dreams like that.
Or vulnerable.
Huh. Like that dream I always have of me and Lowe's on a toilet and everybody applauding.
I have a reoccurring dream.
Of? What are you doing in it?
So you're actually in it, Dad. And I've had it since I was a young child. And the last time I've had it was probably a little over a year ago. But I'm a baby in the dream. And you're taking me to the top of some skyscraper. And then you leave me there and a helicopter comes and picks me up. And I don't know why. And I'm like, and you just leave me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Did I ever leave you anywhere?
No.
Okay. Because my memory isn't so good. That actually happened, Lindsie.
Oh, gosh.
But it wasn't a helicopter. It was the aliens. They wanted you back. All right.
So here's the dream interpreter in me is to try and figure out like 4 adjectives you'd use for your dad. And then trying to decide, if you see him as being, I don't know, we'll say the word responsible. How do you feel like you're being abandoned by responsibility, or, just kind of play on those words, find words that you think as you would use to describe him. And then are you feeling abandoned by those, or rescued by those?
What did I do? What did I do, Lindsie? Oh.
But it's aspects of yourself that you would associate with your dad. So it's not meaning your dad left you. It's those aspects that you associate with him.
You are digital and very slow.
You don't have to say them out loud, Lindsie.
All right.
All right. I'll think about it.
So do you actually take off in the chopper?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
no, I'm lifted up.
Okay. So there, she qualifies then for the flying dream. All right. This is a great mythical symbol of freedom, Lindsie. The meaning of flying dream is one of good omens. You instinctively know the goals in life and how to seek them. Whether it's love you seek or a place in life for fame and fortune, you will fly over earthly obstacles and find your happiness. Reoccurring flying dreams indicate great fortune. All traditions explain flying dreams in the same way. If you are in your own human form, you will find happiness in an ordinary but successful life. If you are a bird in your dream, you will be most fortunate in life and attract good luck. If you are a winged human, an orthanthropopus, is a winged human, I guess. You are bound for a highly creative and fulfilled life. There you go. That's good.
So do you guys have many flying dreams?
I used to when I was younger.
It stopped, but I used to have, and I think it was, remember that stupid, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like a rhyme when we were kids, Pete and Repeat went to the river, Pete fell in, and who lived?
Repeat, and then you say it again.
That stuck with me, and I kept having a common dream for, at least into my 20s, of me on a bridge, falling off and it rewinding and starting over. And I really think it was from that stupid phrase. But falling dreams are the most common. It says, go ahead.
I was just going to say that flying dreams, if you're in that kind of metaphysical arena, people sometimes believe that that's an out-of-body experience. So you may be flying in your dream, but you're actually having an out-of-body experience of some sort.
That's cool.
I wish I could have one of those. I'm so tired of my body.
And the only flying dream that I can remember I had, and this will say a lot to you guys, I was flying on a broom.
That's awesome.
Wow, Val.
No, you got the wrong number. This is 912.
All right. So the following is the one that is the most common dream of all. It means the dreamer is a fear of losing respect or status or financial difficulties or fading physical vitality. Where's my wah, wah, wah sound effect?
Lost it.
I lost it. If you land and awaken suddenly, it is literally a wake-up call to attend to matters in the physical world. If you land but the dream continues, then the answer to your dilemma is being given to you in that dream. So me not landing and rewinding and starting over, what is it, just like a constant free fall?
Yeah, that could be as well. But, and then I'll go back to the same thing about having those flying dreams. Having a falling dream, if you're more in the metaphysical realm, is that now you've returned to your body after having that out-of-body experience. So it's like, wham, you get back into your body.
Wow.
So just sharing a little odd stuff with you this morning.
All right. Lindsay, I saved this one for you. This is how to live to 100, since you're the youngest. And these are people that have given their what helped them live to 100. Louise Signor of New York on her 107th birthday said, never getting married.
That's the plan.
What happens when you've been married 3 times, Scott?
What? You go deaf. Anna LeComte, Colorado Springs, on her 101st birthday, she said golf.
Lame.
All right. Teresa Rowley of Grand Rapids, she chose on her 104th birthday Diet Coke, at least one a day. President might be on to
Trump's
something.
going to live forever.
Oh, no.
Agnes Fenton of Inglewood, New Jersey, on her 110th birthday, she said it was the beer. Dorothy
I like her.
The Dorothy Flowers of the UK said it was champagne. I like this one. Louise, again, from Signor, from the Bronx, she said it was dancing.
Ooh.
Madeline Dye, another one, she said avoiding the stress of relationships. I never got married, never had a boyfriend. Seems lonely, though.
A little bit.
No, but I think men tend to live longer if they're in a relationship or have a wife. So for women, it must be the opposite.
All that taking care of somebody drains your life out of you. Bessie Cooper of Tennessee on her 116th birthday said, don't eat junk food and mind your own business.
I really like that one. Mind your own business.
I don't want to live to 116 with no junk food, though.
That's too tough. You're right.
You know, that'd be like more than double the age I am right now, and my body's already shot. Ugh.
Long,
You should
long
mind your own
54
business,
years.
Dad.
I haven't been minding my own business at all. If I'm 116 and you're pushing me in a wheelchair, the dust is going to blow away. All right. Susan Mushet on her 116th birthday said breakfast of eggs, grits, and no less than 4 strips of bacon every day. All right.
I could, next to the alcohol, I like that one.
Jeannie Louise Clement of France lived to 122, a world record. And Val, you're going to love her. She said, wine. She says, I drank port wine relentlessly and told reporters she would eat 2 pounds of chocolate weekly. And she also had lots of olive oil body rubs. Lindsay liked that one.
I can do that. I should live a long time then.
Lindsay says, you had me at olive oil body rubs.
Like to stay slick.
You can super slide at the same time.
And another one for you, Val. Florence Barris of Bangor, Maine said on her 100th birthday, wine.
It's that resveratrol and that stuff can make you live a long time.
Nice.
That red wine, for sure.
All right, we're hitting the 9 o'clock hour. We should probably go to break, but one thing I want to do is pit my lovely daughter, Lindsay, against my lovely sister, Val, in head-to-head trivia.
Dukes are up.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Today it's Val and Lindsay. They're thinking impaired.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
That means fast, ladies.
Okay.
All right, we'll see how you do.
I do not have a tumor.
You do have a tumor. All right, I'm going to keep score on this one right here on the counter because I don't have any paper. I'll use a pencil so it can be erased. just so you people at home know what's happening. All right, first trivia question. We'll go with Lindsay. All right. In 1985, the average speed of one of these was less than 7 miles per hour. Excuse me. I totally messed you up.
Yeah, I don't know.
In 1895. All right, you with me?
Yes.
1895. Average speed of one of these was less than 7 miles per hour. What is it?
A motor vehicle?
I will take that as an answer. The correct answer was automobile, but I think that isn't a motor vehicle. Would you agree, Val?
I would agree. I'd give her that one.
All right. Question number 2. This one going to Val. Study found if you do this at work, you'll be perceived to be more important than you really are. What
Work?
do you do? Yes. All right. We don't take funny answers, Val. This is serious. All right. A study found if you do this at work, you'll be perceived to be more important than you really are. What is this activity you're doing at work?
Talking on the phone.
No. I'll give you half a point if you can get it on your second guess.
Attending a meeting?
Nope. Walking fast.
I always do that. I'm
Shuffle,
important.
shuffle.
After, being with a husband that is 6'4" and me being like on a good day 5'4", you have to learn to walk fast too. That's the only way you can keep up.
That's right. We don't have a choice because we have to make 2 strides for everyone else's 1. We're Schloffmans.
We're little.
Brother
I should have known that because I walk fast all the time at work.
Our brother had a job he's gone now, but mine and Val's brother had a job at a retirement facility in Spokane. And when he started working there, he was the fast walker. And all the rest of the maintenance men pulled him aside after the first week and said, "Hey, you're making us look bad. Never walk fast and never take a toolbox. Just a couple tools in your pocket. Because odds are you're going to need a different tool. And then you're going to walk back to the office." And he said, "See, there's not enough work here for all of us. And if you're going to be all quick and willy-nilly, it's going to show."
Take it down a notch.
He had to. And I think he lasted there about 15 years, so he must have took it down several notches. All right, Lindsay's one up on you. Lindsay, here's another chance. What do the TV series Friends, Seinfeld, The Fugitive, Cheers, and MASH have in common?
Laugh track?
Oh, no, second chance. And be aware that all these shows are now off the air. What do these TV series, Friends, Seinfeld, and The Fugitive, Cheers, and MASH have in common?
I don't know. That's tough.
Val, you want to sneak in for a point?
Get in
Great
there.
theme songs?
Nope. They were the most watched, they had the most watched series finales of all time.
Oh.
All right.
I wouldn't have guessed.
You wouldn't have guessed that. All right, Val, what do cucumbers, eggplants, string beans, and tomatoes have in common?
They're not necessarily a veggie. They might also be classified as a fruit.
Correct. All right, neck and neck. Lindsay,
All right.
what do cucumbers, eggplants, string beans, and tomatoes have in common?
They're all fruit.
She's right, you're ahead. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Cheater.
Wouldn't it be great if my daughter just only answered the questions you already gave the answers for?
Okay, so I like to watch.
That's how you know if you're paying attention.
Me and my boyfriend like to watch Jeopardy, and I really want to watch episodes ahead of time, and then when he comes home, rewatch them and get all the answers right and watch his face.
Wait a minute. You have a boyfriend?
You've met him multiple times, Dad.
Yes. All right. So whose turn? Oh, yeah, it's back to Lindsay, right? Okay, your real question this time. On the average person, this is 17 to 18 inches long.
Well, we know what it's not. So.
Wow.
Your arm. I don't.
Really?
No.
She just stuck her arm out and realized that it's longer than 17 inches. Oh, wow.
I'm having a hard time here. Shoulders? Like your shoulder?
Houston, we have a problem.
It's 17. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint just because this is really fun. If she laughs much longer, she's going to start snorting, and that's what I'm hoping for. All right. It's inside your body, Lindsay, and it's 17 to 18 inches long.
Your femur.
Your femur. No. And I'm glad you didn't say your colon, because that's actually like a mile long. You stretch it out. Yeah, it's kind of gross. All right. 17 to 18 inches long. Val, you have any ideas what internal body part might be 17 to 18 inches long?
Your internal, I'm trying to think what it could be. I thought maybe it was, what's the bone from your knee to your foot?
I don't know. It's like the shin area, though.
Yeah, the shin area.
The lower femur?
Wait. Is it your small intestine?
No, it's your spinal cord.
Small is really...
Oh, Val's doing the Zoom breakup thing. It's a spinal cord, 17 to 18 inches long.
That seems like it would be way longer.
I would have thought the same thing, because doesn't it go from like the base of your skull all the way down to your
tailbone?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. I'm not a scientist. I just ask the questions.
I think it's wrong.
But
Lindsay and I wouldn't have agreed with that no matter what.
All right, got 2 trivia questions left, and you're tied neck and neck. All right. The very first vending machine in the U.S. dispensed what?
Soda. Oh, sorry. It's Val's turn.
Yeah, Val. Just a hint, Val. Don't choose soda.
Don't choose that one. Wrong answer.
And then Val goes,
something odd.
Soda?
Oh, I know what it is.
All right. What is it, Val? We lost you.
Lindsay knows.
No, answer. We'll see if you got it.
I'm trying to think of when the vending machines might have come into being. I mean, the medicine.
Medicine.
No.
Cigarettes.
No.
Oh, Lindsay's got it.
No.
Right?
Very first vending machine dispensed gum. Oh. All right. Lindsay, you could come up with the win if you haven't cheated.
I'm not looking, I swear.
31% of us say we wish we had the guts to get rid of what? It's in your house, and it's in your living room.
The
Husband,
guts.
spouse?
Our television.
It is our TV. Ooh.
Good job.
Oh. All right. Of course, I saved the easy one for last. Let's see if I can come up with something for Val to redeem herself.
Have it be the Daily Double.
The Daily Double. Wah, wah, wah.
You think you're going to find it over there?
I don't have another trivia question, so I'm going to give you a chance to fill in the hole in the headline. All right. Have you done this one before, Val?
Yes, I have.
All right. So you have to guess the words that's missing from this real news headline. Cops catch suspect after blank blows cover.
I'm going to go with cat.
Oh. UK cops caught a suspect after an ill-timed fart revealed his hiding place.
That's a good one.
And that means Lindsay sneaks in 2 years since you've been on the radio, and you sneak in and win trivia.
What I want to go back and ask, though, what gave him away, the smell or the sound?
It says the bizarre arrest happened on Thursday. Officers chased one man into the woods in the dark, but another suspect was caught after police heard a noise believed to be the sound of someone breaking wind from a nearby bush. So it was the sound, not the smell. One of the pursuing officers couldn't resist cracking a joke at the suspect's expense in a Facebook post. He says, "I was almost out of wind running, but luckily the suspect still had some."
Goodness.
All right, we'll give Lindsay one, too. See if you can guess this hole in the headline, Lindsay. The word that's missing from this real news headline. Blank caught on video robbing bank ATM. These are real news stories. A blank caught on video robbing ATM.
A bear.
Oh, so close. Officers in New Delhi, India were called to a bank ATM on Wednesday after someone found the cash machine with the front torn off, although nothing had been stolen. Suspecting a botched robbery, cops reviewed security footage and discovered that a curious primate had hopped on top of the ATM and tugged away before uncovering the hardware inside. Here's the strange part. No one knows how the monkey was able to access the ATM because it was behind a glass wall and a locked door.
Well, Well, maybe if we'd gotten a little clue on where this happened before you said it, we might have guessed primate. Because you don't see them wandering around the streets here in, the U.S.
Call me on the carpet over a technicality then. All right, one more. Answer wrong and win. I'm going to go back and forth on these just because they're fun. Concept here, Val doesn't get. All right, she has a hard time.
I answer wrong all the time.
No, but see, it's answer. You're supposed to give the wrong answer. I'm going to ask you a question. Your temptation is to give the correct answer, but we need a wrong one. Val's not very good at this.
Hey, I did really good last week. Okay. I take exception to that comment.
All right.
If you were here, I'd have to smack you upside the head.
All right. Let's put the proof to where all that wind is then, Val. Here you go. Answer wrong and win. The handheld, Val, this is for you. The handheld device used to change channels.
That would be your spatula.
It's funny. Same thing that was in my mind. I was thinking spatula. I was thinking, man, spatula. That's weird. All right. Because if you gave a Rowie one that wasn't stupid, I was going to go, no, Val, that's a spatula. We are Schloffmans, huh? Or we watch too much SpongeBob. All right. Lindsie, what you put in your fireplace and light on fire.
Hairbrush.
Your hairbrush. She's got a lot of hair if you're watching on the webcam.
You can't see it.
Yeah. Oh, it's all pulled back. That's right. All right, Val, a state that's not part of the continental United States.
Russia.
Okay.
I should have said state of confusion, but that would be part of the United States.
All right. And Lindsie, I'm looking for a folk hero who robs from the rich and gives to the poor.
Donald Trump.
I knew she was going to say that. And, baby, hopefully he'll sign off and do it again. That was my favorite thing, is run around with a big grin on my face and watching people smile and go, did you get your Trumpy check? And they go, yeah, I got my Trumpy check. And then yesterday was somebody, I haven't got my Trumpy check yet. Oh. Yeah. All right. Good job, ladies, on trivia. Thank you so much. All right, we've got some odd news. We'll probably do some local birthdays and some special events and funny holidays, that kind of stuff. So we hope you'll stick around. We got a few songs here as we reset, and we want to thank our wonderful sponsors. It's Northern Lights Public Radio. We're going to go off YouTube, but we will be back on the next set. It's KCHW 102.7. See you in about 15 minutes.
This portion of programming made possible by the continuing support of
Dawson Trucking Incorporated at 3147 Highway 231 in Valley. They offer services to the Tri-County area, including excavation, site prep.
There we go. Are you still there, Val?
I am.
All right. About 10, 15 minutes. We'll be back.
Okie dokie.
Sound good?
Stevens County for over 7 years.
And by Ecliptic Net Broadband. Ecliptic Net provides broadband